Today we're going to be talking about Enneagram 6. I'm Grace. I've been working on the series of how to love different aspects of the Enneagram world, and today, 6, it's your turn. I know a lot of you people out there are watching the video of how other people should love you. So for all my 6s out there, at the very end I'm going to slip in a little challenge. You can stay for the end and watch that, it's just for you. I want to start out with a word picture about how it possibly could lead to more compassion and helpfulness. Well, it's weird to call it helpfulness, but you get the idea. About how to love the Enneagram 6 well. The word picture I'm going to use today is a radar screen, and all the rings on the radar, and the Enneagram 6 has a giant radar that covers many things. Not because they want to be in charge of all those things, not because they have a tender, kind, compassionate heart for all those things, but because they have an incredible amount of fear and anxiety. And one of the ways that they can manage that fear and anxiety is by keeping their radar screen covering this insane area. Ping! Got a little ping on your radar screen. And Enneagram 6 is going to address it, going to have an action plan for it, and oftentimes will just really do a great job taking care of it. They're not going to stay around for whatever ping means. They will stay around, but the ping will not last. The ping will be taken care of. How do you, as someone who loves them well, respond to an Enneagram 6 who's just experienced a ping? And their ping happened when they woke up in the morning, when they ate lunch, when they think about getting to this soccer game on Saturday. Ping, ping, ping. And they are constantly managing, deciding, responding, reacting to the different pings that are going off for them. I just want to do a little compare and contrast because I think it can be a little bit confusing. There is actually some confusion between 6 and 8s because they have an ability to look at this giant radar screen. An 8, you pass some ammunition, the situation is taken care of, they've moved on. It didn't cost them. It didn't cost them, it was a good time. And not as much matters on their radar. It just doesn't. A 6, it matters. All the things matter, and all the things will be responded to, and it will be from a place of, oh no, I can't. No, that if that happened, then that would be terrible, and then that would be terrible, and then that would be terrible, so we can't, so let's not. Apparently there's a lot of you guys out there. So, I want to know about your radar screen. How exhausting that is for you. How does it cover? And today we're going to talk about all those people that are trying to love you while you're low-key obsessing about your radar screen. Pull on your compassion pants, like your most kindest velvet compassion pants, okay? When an Enneagram 6 gets a ping and you can see them, their feelings are kind of ratcheting up. If they're giving space to their feelings, hopefully they are. Their reaction, you can see them going into go mode to take care of some things. Allow them space. You can name it if it helps you. Oh, okay, you're responding to a ping in your life. Okay. But give them space to do that. And that, for some of us, will mean really slowing down. Do that. Show them kindness and compassion by giving them space to do the process that they need to do to feel safe and good in the world. When necessary, there is a slow and low trauma mode. It is not condescending. It's eye contact. It's a communication style that says, I'm here, I'm going to stay here, we're going to work it out. Use that as you go through. Sometimes, if it's really important to the Enneagram 6, they could go kind of catastrophic mode on you. Or if it's a big, huge thing, right? Let them go there. And then what will happen? Okay, and then what will happen? Because they're typically not the sky is falling. Honestly, usually they have legitimate fears, but very few people are stopping to listen to that fear and then helping them go and like staying with them in it. There's a drive to go, it'll be fine. No, that's not a big deal. No, that's never going to happen. Don't worry about it. Okay, not helpful. The reality of the radar cannot be denied. We're going to talk about later, if you do start denying it, all the brokenness that can ensue from that. But right now, honor the radar. The ping has happened. Honor the response. Give space for it. Okay, the ping has happened. What's going to go down? How do we need to take care of it? I'm going to be here with you through this process. I love you. I see you. We're in it to be together, to win it, to show up. I'm going to keep showing up with you in this moment through this process. And I'm definitely going to hire someone else to clean your house. Great. I want you, though, to establish some space and some boundaries around how much voice, how much space the skeptic will get in your relationship. The skeptic is helpful. The ping has gone off, the radar of the reality, we're honoring that, we're holding space for that, I love that. But then the skeptic starts to go, but probably like it won't work, and this is why we can't get that new fridge because da 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 da, and I should probably ask like 2 other experts about how to get that fridge and what to do, and you can put a boundary around that. You can say, we agreed that we would only consult this expert. And for me, in the relationships with the Enneagram 6s that I'm in, I do a lot of naming so I can have sanity. And it's an honoring naming system for the people involved. They've agreed with it, but you're getting skeptical of the process that we've gone through. You're asking questions. You would feel more comfortable if we went and got another expert opinion. I could totally understand that, but we agreed that we would only get one expert opinion, and so now we're going to go ahead and move forward. You might have to, in new spaces, in new projects, in moments when you just are going to move forward, you might have to say things like, we'll give space to those feelings, to your radar, to this process that you're going through, but it's going to have to be processing it afterwards, because right now we're going to go ahead and move forward. You can write me an email about what you see are the problems in this project, what you see could be done better to make this work smoother. It doesn't have to be, though, every single time, all the things, every ping that goes off, you're in a receiving conversation for the skeptic. It's okay. It's information about you, what you're willing to choose, what you're willing to take and not take. If you need to share an uncomfortable feeling with your Enneagram 6, let's just go ahead and go with one that jumps to my mind. I hate you. Okay. So their ping system works out here. It keeps them comfortable. They have this giant margin. And you have decided to share a hard, uncomfortable feeling. And so all of a sudden, something is pinging right here. it can have like kind of a paralyzing, one of the ways that's helpful to describe the Enneagram. I'm going to have to do some like kind of higher level teaching in this video because Enneagram 6s are a little bit tricky. In stress, the Enneagram number first, in like a instant stress, like a stress of a moment, a stress of a day, you push through to the lower levels of your number. Okay? Then in longer term stress, typically, you're going to push down into your lower number. Does that make sense? So for a 6, 3, 6, and 9, that triad, they have been hurt in the core. They have grown and chosen, their ego of choice has been like a complete self-forgetting of the head. That might be reversed for you, but for me it's right. The 6, the 3, the 9, it's forgetting the heart, forgetting the gut, forgetting the instinct, forgetting all the head. And by forgetting, I mean not being present to. So the Enneagram 6, they're not being present to all those things. And one of the ways they say that you can become present is like you'll just go in through your wings. Okay, pull all that information together. For the Enneagram 6, if they went in through their wings to get to the core of who they are, to understand themselves, to be present, to allow illumination, to allow wholeness, you've got 2 head spaces. So you've got avenue of fear, and anxiety. Those don't work very well to go down here or down here, folks. And then if they were to go over to 3 up to 9, they are still not able, like there's no place in their triangle to easily access their heart, their gut, their head. So if you then say, I hate you, and they have something going off here, it's like a bomb just went off in the middle of their core that they have it's like a fathom of the depths within inside themselves that they have never, ever contemplated. And things that the Enneagram 6 does not understand, it goes badly. It honestly does. So, I know in theory that there are a lot of beautiful Enneagram 6s who have done their heart work, tons and tons of it, who have done their gut work even, who have gone down to the fathoms of themselves, are present with themselves and their feelings. But I'm gonna give you some tips for the people who are just trying to love an Enneagram 6 who's a low-key hot mess. You respond, you say, I hate you. It comes out of nowhere for them. They shut down. And they shut down in a way that a lot of us cannot even imagine. So if you're expecting to still have a conversation, probably not. Yeah, probably don't. The ping at that core, that close to home, is debilitating. So talk about, with your Enneagram 6, maybe ahead of time, maybe even during, how can I honor you? How can I create space for you to hear me and for us to keep having this conversation? Is it in writing? Do I text message you, warning, something coming up on the radar, I'm having some hard, uncomfortable feelings? Do we sit in front of a counselor together and create a safe space? How? Smoke signals? What do we need to do so that you can stay here because you matter to me and I really want to keep hearing your voice, and I won't if you're so freaked out you've shut down. So great, right? And you kind of get the idea of like low and slow for all the games, because the next one is very similar. Ahead of time, a year ahead of time, a week ahead of time, a day ahead, go ahead and let their radar envelop where you're headed, where you're going, what are your plans, what are you thinking. It's a comfort to them. They can think it through, they can work it out, they can show up and have a good time, but not if they haven't had a chance. Are there 6 with strong 7 wings that are like, what? I'm spontaneous all the time. I love it. Bless. That's awesome. That's not everybody. So give them a chance to be present in their radar. Just, well, mini truth here. Your feeling of safety is not their feeling of safety. I'm just going to say that. Everybody gets to choose what's safe for them. If it doesn't feel safe for them, then you do not get to ignore their radar. You do not get to ignore their ping. If they have it's kind of like in my family, I teach my people, you are going to respect their no. So with 6s, you're going to respect their radar. If their radar pings, then you don't get to say, no, it's not. Okay, yes, it did. Respect the radar. Okay, for the Enneagram 6, there are preferences, the way they like things. There are projects. Sure, big time project mode people, they can get their projects done. And then there is programming. If you're going to deeply love, care for, be present with an Enneagram 6, understand their programming. Depending on your relationship, it can be as simple as, I see how you are with old people, babies, and bad cashiers. If it is someone you deeply love, what is their programming? Who did they come from? What authority set their rails in place, and how? That programming that the 6 has, they won't drop it easily. Watch this for programming. We are nice to everyone all the time. If you're an Enneagram 8 and you are being very loving by saying very, very gently, no thank you. But the Enneagram 6 has a programming that says we are nice. Okay? Nice is not kind, nice is not loving, nice is not even being a real person. But if that's what the Enneagram 6's programming is, you should know. Because that stuff's going to affect your relationship, your work culture, your parenting relationship, trying to throw a cookout. It's all the things, right? Ask questions. Be curious. They probably have no idea and can't answer the question. Programming is something that takes observation and contemplation for you to really see your own and to see others. You cannot ever be enough support or security for an Enneagram 6. It is not your job. It's not your place. But they will do this thing where they're like, okay, you're the expert. I'm like listening. Even if you're like barely an expert, they will find the thing that you're like slightly expert at and they'll be like, give it to me. Whew, okay, I got that thing. And then that's it. They know the thing. And they'll decide whether or not they know more than you. And then they'll decide if they'll continue to listen to you or not. Let's say though you're past that. You're like really deep into like a real, like seriously committed relationship with the Enneagram 6. And you would like to still be heard and listened to in the relationship. But the Enneagram 6 has decided that you are no longer an expert, or you don't really know, or you're not really like you're trying to tell them about like how to fix a car and you don't know how to fix a car. It's that kind of, if I went out to tell an Enneagram 6 how to fix a car, which I have no idea how to do, it would be like that, except it's just normal day-to-day stuff that really they are supposed to hold space for. Like, if I were to share a feeling, the Enneagram 6 might dismiss the feeling because it's not a real thing. There's this idea, who talks about it? Good old Helen Palmer. She talks about the Enneagram 6 and their assumptions that they make about people around them. Instead of being curious, they make assumptions, and it's part of how they move through life so efficiently, is they make assumptions and they just do the next thing. Guys, when you make assumptions about people, I don't mean to like be difficult, and I know this is going to bother people, but it's abusive. Don't do it. It ends up really tearing down and destroying relationships. So if you're in a relationship with Enneagram 6 and you find them doing that over and over and over again, no, stop. Please stop. Thank you. I want to share some questions that Rousseau and Hudson talk about because I think they're really great and they can be helpful for you in knowing and loving your Enneagram 6. When will you know that you have enough security? That's a question that your Enneagram 6 gets to answer. What is your inner guidance? What is your relationship with God? What is your own inner being suggesting? How are you taking time to listen to the inside of yourself? Can you sit with your anxiety rather than launching into activity? Guys, this is not even the challenge yet. Just wait. Okay, now we're going to go a little bit deeper into counterphobic, and then I'll end with your challenge for your 6s. I know this video is a little bit longer. Thank you for sticking with me. Counterphobic. So the Enneagram 6 is the only number that gets 2 aspects, for lack of a better word. You have the typical Enneagram 6, and then you have counterphobic Enneagram 6. The counterphobic Enneagram 6, so we talked about earlier how they are blind, they are absent from their headspace, but actually absent from their entire space. A counterphobic 6 is blind, double blind. So they're absent to their own thought process, ideas, inside voices, and they're absent to the fear about all those things. They have laid down rails, disregarding their inner world completely, and as the way it goes, people around them inner world. If you are in relationship with a counterphobic 6, probably stop now. You are not really in relationship with a whole person. You're in relationship with an adventure, a movement, a project, a process, but a person, heart, soul, being, that's locked up inside of that person. With a Enneagram 6 that's counterphobic, it is always the program over the people. Racist, patriarchal, the religion, the cult, the people who deeply choose programming that is destructive to other people around them and don't see it and are completely sold out to it. Assumptions. A counterphobic 6 making assumptions is meaner, is much more cutting. They really, if you were to show an uncomfortable feeling to an Enneagram 6 who's counterphobic, you would be messing up the cogs in the wheel that is turning to accomplish where they're going. And that can be very powerful, right? To have a person who's just a giant forward motion, who, if anything gets in their way, just, it's done. Like, you're out. Sorry, you didn't make the cut. Bye. I think of places that have been conquered, places that have been in history where people have gone through and taken over giant areas. It's hard. It's hard, and not very many people are talking about it. Counterphobic 6. Some people act like it's like the funner version of the 6, like the adventuresome 6. Not everyone will be able to relate to this, but for me, it's the and I'm going to give you a stereotype here. It's the man driving in the pickup truck out here in the Midwest and with the Confederate flag flowing. And I'm in my head like, bless you and having your feelings. Because it's like, that's heartbreaking. That's really heartbreaking that anybody would do that. It's messed up. Enneagram 6. Have your feelings. Have your feelings. Honor space for having your feelings. Journal them. Be present in your inner world. There's this idea among 6s, I'm just going to go wherever you need me. I'll just show up and I'll just be here and I'm going to get the job done. No problem. Don't mind me. Just wherever, anywhere. No, thank you. This is a challenge from an Enneagram 6. Know who you are, where you're going. How has God the Beloved equipped you? And be that person in that moment. The Bible talks about the body, like this giant body, and all fits together and all the pieces are fit together. And Enneagram 6 is like, today I'll be a hand, and then I'll be a foot, and then tomorrow I'll be an elbow, and I'm just fine. I can do all the things. No. You Enneagram 6s showing up in the world and just being like, no matter what anybody needs, I can do that thing for you. You are a treasure. You have incredible value. Your voice has incredible value. Enneagram 6s, if you've set up relationships where you're just the person who hauls other people's life around and makes their life work for them, please pause. Please make space for yourself. Please stop hauling other people's lives around. I mean, within reason. You know how it is. Some people just want you for the haul. Find the people that will treasure you for who you are and know you and love you well. Bless you all you 6s, all you other numbers, all you other people out there just trying to figure it out. Bless you in being known and loved and walking as the beloved as is.